Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Royall here again this week, wanting to continue the lecture that I started last week on persuasive communication, beginning with Aristotle's modes of persuasion and segueing into more of a 21st century type of communication, given all the changes in the way we communicate and the spaces that we use to communicate. Things are changing, from what they had in the first few centuries our species was around, and we are adapting as communication professionals to this new environment in which we're living. And our objective for this lecture is to analyze the audience for a proposal and craft our message based on the audience demographic and the purpose of the proposal toward a predetermined outcome. Now, we're working on resumes for one of the things that we're doing. And of course, we're trying to persuade an employer to give us a job. And this elevator speech that we've crafted and the things that we're doing to back that up all have to be targeted toward a specific goal and a specific type of outcome. So we need to, first of all, look at our outcome. What is the purpose of what we're trying to do? What do we want the outcome to be? We take a look at our audience demographic, and then we decide what kind of persuasive communication to use to achieve our goal of this predetermined outcome. And the focus this week and last is on persuasive communication, which is the cornerstone of most all professional communication. And last week I spoke about Aristotle's modes, which are still used in crafting today's business and professional and promotional communication. And in 2022, Aristotle's wisdom is still valid. However, our 21st century effective business communication is more complex than ever, and today's business climate expects more of us. I've done a little bit of researching again to keep my skill set updated and what I teach you guys valid in today's market. And what I've put together is a modern take on Aristotle's 3 pillars, with 2 additional strategies that I believe are essential in influencing others in today's communication environment. Now, to achieve the goals we're after, one of the things we have to do is call our audience into action. And we do that by using a different skill set than simply conveying information. And we have to step up our game because we are in an era of a lot of noise, a lot of people saying a lot of things and a lot of messages drifting around. How do we craft our message where it will stick in the right place? Well, the best practices for persuading people to do what we want them to do is something that's been debated for nearly 2 millennia. Ever since Aristotle first coined his 3 principles of persuasive communication. And again, to recap that's logos, or presenting a clear and rational argument, pathos, which is using an emotional appeal, and ethos, which is establishing credibility, either by data or by having a speaker that carries credibility with them. So I'm going to go down these 5 steps for you, and I hope this will help you with crafting this next assignment and project of yours and doing your final project. I have graded all of your resumes that I've received. I've sent notes to those that I haven't received. And we need to get those in right away because I want to be able to give you feedback. So when you craft your next communication, your next resume, you can have that feedback with you and hopefully really do a very good and professional job with it. But let's go down these 5 rationalities for developing good professional persuasive communication. First of all, we build a clear and compelling argument. Today's business decisions are much more data-driven than in the past, but we have so much information available to anyone in our audience can go grab information from the internet the same way we can. So what our job becomes is interpreting the data so we can help be precise in the message that we send to make an impact on the audience. It's not enough just to compile a list of data, facts and figures, and of tables and of pie charts and so forth. we have to make our evidence more compelling to our audience by adding our personal experiences, what we've gained and what we know from our own experience. And that's even more important, I think, than determining what your audience wants, is how can we cause the audience to relate back to us and our experiences, and then have them accept and agree with our argument that this, what we're asking them to do, is the thing that they really want to do, because we have the same set of values and the same outcomes that we want to achieve. It's very important. Number 2 is make an emotional connection. It's very important to make an emotional connection, because even people at high levels of business tend to make emotional decisions. And when your goal is to gain buy-in for your ideas and to inspire action, building a rapport with your audience with a smile and eye contact is a great way to start. I like the fact that Dr. Kidd had us begin with crafting an elevator speech that we had to make in just a matter of, a few seconds. We had things a message we had to get across that had a purpose, but the first thing that message did was connect us with the other individual. Okay, so we build emotional support, considering what the audience's comfort level is. Now, if we approach someone in an elevator, trying to run their business for them or convince them to do something they've never heard of, that's probably, too far a reach, right? But we need to look at something that, an opening statement where we can establish what I call common ground communication. In other words, we look for commonality between this individual and us. What are our similarities? And we listen. We did an exercise on listening. That causes us to be believable when we listen to people. And that's number 3, be believable. It establishes our credibility with the audience. We have to establish trust with the audience. Are we an authority on the subject? Well, we are on ourselves and what we want. In the resume exercise, we are coming from the standpoint of what we know and what we want. But how do we gain the trust of the person that we're presenting to? Well, we try to find common ground and we listen. That's how we determine what our common ground may be. We do our research ahead of time, yes. But if we're in the elevator with someone and we're trying to impress them, or we're at Shark Tank with someone and we're trying to sell them on an idea, we need to remind these people of our common experiences and goals that we share. And one of those goals might be, if you're wanting to go to work for an advertising agency. Well, what are your common goals with someone who runs an advertising agency? Well, you're concerned with being able to bring people what they want, to make an impact on people with your statement, with your visual graphics, to be able to fulfill the needs of other people. Well, we look at that when we are crafting this message that it contains our common experiences and goals. We look at the other party, we look at what their lifestyles may be, what their business environment looks like, what their goals are as a business. If we're trying to go to work for a company, what are the goals of that company? What does their mission statement have to say? What do we have in common with that, and what can we bring to the table to benefit that business owner, or that hiring manager? And we understand, we show them that we understand their point of view when we address their questions and concerns, and that's always a good way to approach this common ground, this common standpoint environment, is to find out what their questions and concerns might be. It's a good idea to stop partway through your presentation and say, does anyone have any questions at this point? Is there anything that I can clarify for you? If you have any concerns about this, would you express them, please? I'm certainly glad to listen. We really, really want to know what your ideas are and what your concerns might be. So about halfway through the presentation, sometimes it's helpful if we stop and listen and do intake, and then adjust our output based on what we have heard and discerned from what they're telling to us. Okay, another step, number 4, is collaborate and listen. There's a good reason why collaboration has become such a valued business strategy in recent years. Working together as a unit, as a team, produces more and better ideas. When we collaborate with others and seek out differing viewpoints, we become better prepared to present a winning, persuasive proposal. And even when we disagree with someone's standpoint or what they're saying, careful listening, and I have that bolded here because that is an important skill to develop. Careful and discerning listening makes you better informed about how others see the issue at hand and what the needs and wants are of this particular organization or group. At the very least, you can understand what you're up against, and others feel included when you ask for their opinion. In the best case, it may help you devise new strategies that you may not have considered otherwise, and it may cause you to get the sale, to get the job, so forth. And number 5 is persuade before you even present. Professional salespeople know that buyers often make their purchase decisions before they ever speak to the sales representative. They've looked at the internet, they've done their research, they know pretty much what they want when they get there. And so we have to persuade by knowing the audience, what they want, who our stakeholders and influencers are. If we're addressing a hiring committee, when we're going before a job interview or it's a panel interview, and what I do, that's normally what I have to do. I seldom ever interview with one person. I will interview with 4 to 6 people as a general rule. And one of the things I do right up front is try to figure out who the stakeholders are, who the decision makers are, and who the influencers are, and where they stand in regard to what they want from this person who is coming after this position, or what they want from my organization if I'm going in there as a media and advertising professional. I want to know what their ideas are and what their action items are. And it's a good idea to ask questions that answer those questions for you. What do they really want? What are their ideas? What are their strategies? And what are they interested in attaining with our collaboration? And we need to ask ourselves as we wrap up our presentations, is our presentation capable of getting others to consider new ideas or points of view? And is it strong enough and compelling enough to get them to act accordingly? And I would suggest that you try these 5 strategies to present your case in a way that resonates with your audience, whomever they may be, and produces a successful outcome for you and for your company, if you have one, and successes, or for you personally as you seek after that dream job and career. So you might take all these things into consideration as you complete these next couple of assignments, these couple of writing assignments. And as always, I'm here for you. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns, or just need a little help with getting, for some of you, your back assignments turned in, and for others of you, getting the next assignments completed. I'm always here to help you. I have a lot of practical experience as well as a bit of academic knowledge, so I think I can really help you along the way. And, I'm hoping for a strong finish for everyone in this class, because being a good communicator is foundational to being successful in today's world. So let's have a great week, and again, let me know if I can help you in any way. Thank you. Bye-bye.